Hi, everybody. It's Kristina Dennis, the Transformational Self Empowerment Master, coming in to tell a little bit more about transformation tips and ideas that you can utilize on a daily basis to assist yourself in transforming into that life you want, that life of purpose and harmony. And I wanted to talk a lot more about our thoughts and this whole journaling theme or creating agency for yourself, which is one of the wonderful benefits of journaling is, observing yourself and creating agency, which I think a nice way to think about this, or an easy way to understand this, is where you are really in charge of your thoughts and your actions. And so many of us don't necessarily know that, especially if you're in the middle of a crisis or you have come out of trauma, or just, are younger and haven't quite gotten to that place where you understand that the world is how you see it, and perceptions matter, and creating agency for yourself where you understand that you're in charge of exactly what you're thinking is going to be such a major step in moving you toward transformation. Transformation can't help but happen in that incubation of I am responsible. And that's one of the things that I talk about, and one of the reasons why I push journaling. There are multiple benefits, but obviously taking responsibility, or even just observing our thoughts and knowing, okay, I was the person who decided that. I talked yesterday about, maybe tracking your time as being a way of getting into your body, creating agency, being part of, responsible for yourself, understanding that you have the capability to control your thoughts. And that's one of the reasons why I'm always asking people to journal, because it makes us step back and kind of look at things. And as we continue to write things, the next day we look for them even more. And that allows us to think on purpose. One of the women I've listened to for a long time is Joyce Myers, and I'm not preaching to you. I'm not sending any kind of message about the faith that you practice. But I will tell you this, that woman's been around for over 40 years, and she talks about thinking on purpose. And I'm not sure that we realize that, or we realize how many thoughts we have a day. I learned that from the National Science Foundation that we actually have over 70,000 thoughts a day. And what that means is every second we're having a thought. Now, what's interesting about those 70,000 thoughts is that 5% of them are new. So we are thinking over and over and over again the same thoughts, which is why negative thoughts are so dangerous, or rumination on negative thoughts are so dangerous. And knowing what you know about the negative bias and keeping yourself alive being the most important function of your brain and your nervous system to watch out for danger, we have to really work to balance that and to right that type of thinking. And why journaling becomes part of your training, your training mentally, your preparation for being able to access the dreams and the life that you want to be able to give back, to be able to be fully in your body, to be contributing, to have progress on a daily basis. Journaling does that in all kinds of areas. But let's say you're having trouble trying to figure out how to get started journaling. And I've talked about starting with Remember When, or yesterday doing real-time journaling where you're talking, where you're writing what you did all day. Maybe today, if you're one of those people that's having trouble, or you don't have your journal right next to you, or perhaps you want to do both, you're an overachiever, I want you to start thinking about the choices that you make. Simple choices like, why did I put on this kind of cinnamon colored shirt? Well, I thought it looked really pretty today, and I wanted to wear something other than my black tank top. Although I love my black tank tops, I thought, I'll put a little color on and it'll brighten my day. I made that choice. And it's nice to make a choice based on what I wanted versus what other people might want for me, or what other people are expecting of me. When you have trauma in your life or anxiety in your life, the choice kind of gets taken from you. And that's why we work on the trauma. But in between working on the trauma, I want you to start training your brain to be in a space of joy, with a capacity to see the good. Out of those 70,000 thoughts, I would like maybe 10% of them to be new, which is why people are always saying progress, learn, write your goals down, move forward, always keep pushing yourself in order to obtain more knowledge, to have progress. Well, when you journal, you take agency of yourself, you get in your body, you also write down goals. You can go back and look and see the progress that you've made, and you train your brain for the next day to look for those good goals, because you're going to write again. And doing that over and over again helps. But you're not in a place right now, right? We were going to talk about that. Why don't you start thinking about the choices you made today and why you made them? I made the choice to put on this kind of coral cinnamon shirt because I wanted to feel a little more colorful than I usually do. I wanted to watch a few things about the processes of thoughts and the negativity and thinking on purpose. I wanted to learn a little bit, so I went and researched more information about, how we change our thoughts. Thoughts are changeable, and we can only hold one thought at a time. So if you catch yourself having that negative thought or that old speak, because how you speak to yourself is part of your responsibility. How you position yourself in a physiological way is part of your responsibility. What you focus on is in your control. Circumstances may not be, but doing all of those things and taking responsibility for your self-talk, your focus, and your physiology is such a huge inroads to the battle of the mind that we will have. And if we're not conscious to our feelings, which is journaling, we're not paying attention to the decisions we're making and taking, the responsibility of making those decisions. And I mean, just start with little ones. Oh, wow, I really did decide that this is what I wanted to do. Or maybe that I didn't. Maybe I just was doing it out of habit. What if I made a different decision? Start really being in your body. Start thinking on purpose. And if you can think on purpose today, you can start writing a little bit down so that you have a little more agency over your thoughts. So that out of the 70,000 thoughts, 5% of the new ones can be increased to 10% because you're making the choice to learn a little more or to think a different thought. I know Katie Byron talks about what if, asking yourself the 4 questions, which I can't remember, but what if things were exactly as they were supposed to be? And I could take out, so for me, what if things were exactly the way they were supposed to be? And I took out the uncertainty of, am I doing it wrong? Is there a better way somewhere else? And I was just able to accept what was going on today. Would I come up with different solutions? Or would I continue to waste my thoughts on things being different that I can't control? Most of us are going to come to a place, and especially if you're watching this video, whether on replay or live, you're going to come to a place where you're like, I don't want to be yearning for an alternative life, in an alternative universe. I want to enjoy this one, improve this one, and do what I can with this one. And that is recovery to me. That's recovery from trauma. That's recovery from any injuries that may have wanted to sneak in and steal my dreams. That's recovery from addiction. That is recovery from codependency, so not living somebody else's life. I have to think on purpose. And if I wake up with that intention and I use all these little transformational tips, these trainings, I can continue to not be defined by my circumstances, but allow them to refine me. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that ability to, through any circumstance, grow and realize it's preparing me for better and greater things. But I got to be on the lookout for them, and I have to start asking them to come into my life, and I have to take the action. And thinking is an action. So remember, your mind can only hold one thought at a time. So if you've got a negative thought, process it really quick. Go open another file in your computer brain and change that pathway to something that's more positive. If you are a person that says, or was always told that you cost too much, you're too expensive. That was one of the things that I was told as a child. You're too expensive. You cost too much. You're too much. And I have learned to counteract that. If I see that seeping in, if if I maybe, I'm doing some kind of old behavior that doesn't really serve me anymore, I'm feeling smaller, or there's just kind of this, quantum physics energy that's like sucking something out of me, I can assess, get back in my body, take some agency over what's going on in my thoughts and say, oh, wow, no, I don't have to think like that. That's an old belief. I don't want to think like that. Truth of the matter is, I'm exactly how I'm supposed to be. And I have a lot to offer people. And I am big in that way. And I do not have to be small in order to make other people comfortable. Because doing that hurts me, hurts them, and hurts anybody else I can help in the future. And that's not ego. That's just doing what you're supposed to do when you're on this earth. So that was a little bit of a rant. I'm going to talk a little more about that. Maybe stress isn't the worst thing in the world, and how we can maybe discuss a little more about, going from the unconscious to the conscious when we're having these reactions to things that are showing up in our life. Maybe our experiences and our challenges are exactly as they're supposed to be, because they are refining us so that we can do better and be better for other people. A thought for you to think about. All right. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. I'll come in tomorrow. Bye.